From Springfield to space, from rival networks to Adult Swim, Homer and his family have popped up in places you'd never expect. Today, we're diving into every single crossover appearance, from the massive ones everyone remembers, to the hidden cameos that flew completely under the radar, starting with the most popular one. Back in September 2014, something unprecedented happened. Family Guy and The Simpsons joined forces for what became one of the most talked about crossover episodes in animation history. The Griffins found themselves fleeing Quahog after Peter published an offensive comic strip, and after their car got stolen at a gas station, they ended up stranded right outside Springfield. Homer Simpson welcomed these strangers with open arms, and what followed was pure chaos. The episode ran for a full 44 minutes, giving both families plenty of time to interact. Bart and Stewie bonded over pranks.
Mo's Tavern.
Hello, Mo. Your sister's being raped. Is that one?
Lisa tried teaching Meg the saxophone, only to get jealous when she realized Meg was actually talented. But the real highlight? Homer and Peter's epic showdown over beer. When Peter introduced Homer to Pawtucket Patriot Ale, Homer immediately recognized it tasted like Duff but worse. Turns out Pawtucket was literally just Duff with a different label slapped on. This sparked a massive legal battle and led to an 8-minute fight sequence that referenced everything from their respective shows. The two beat each other senseless across Springfield, even jumping over the infamous Springfield Gorge, before finally crash landing and realizing they actually respected each other. Critics were divided on the episode, with some loving the meta humor and others cringing at the car wash scene, but fans ate it up. The crossover pulled in massive ratings and proved that even after decades on air, The Simpsons could still surprise everyone. Just 2 months later, The Simpsons did it again, but this time with Matt Groening's other masterpiece. Simpsorama aired in November 2014, bringing Bender and the Planet Express crew back in time to present-day Springfield. The setup was perfect. Bart had thrown a snot-filled sandwich into a time capsule, along with Milhouse's rabbit's foot, and some radioactive ooze, which 1,000 years later created an army of mutant Bart-rabbit hybrids that wreaked havoc on the future. Bender traveled back to eliminate Homer, believing he was responsible for the catastrophe. But instead of following through, Bender ended up drinking Duff beer with Homer and becoming best friends. The two bonded instantly.
Can we be friends?
Ooh.
You're the only guy I know with less hair than me.
When the full Planet Express crew arrived, including Fry, Leela, Professor Farnsworth, and the rest, Springfield got a full dose of the 31st century. Marge and Leela had an awkward encounter where both tried not to mention each other's obvious features, and Lisa questioned whether Bender truly represented the pinnacle of robotic advancement. The episode moved fast, maybe too fast, cramming tons of characters into just 20 minutes. Fans loved seeing Groening's two worlds collide, especially since Futurama had been cancelled a year earlier, making this feel like a bittersweet farewell. The episode opened with a cheeky title card reading. A show out of ideas teams up with a show out of episodes, perfectly capturing the self-aware humor both series were known for. But if you really want to talk about legendary crossovers, we need to rewind to 1997. The X-Files was at the absolute peak of its popularity, and The Simpsons was in its golden age. When these two titans collided in the Springfield Files, magic happened. Homer stumbled home drunk one night after trying a new beer called Red Tick Ale, got lost in the woods, and encountered what he swore was a glowing alien. Nobody believed him, not even his own family, until FBI agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully showed up to investigate. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson brought their A-game, voicing their iconic characters with perfect deadpan delivery. The episode was narrated by Leonard Nimoy, who kept promising revelations before getting bored and leaving before the ending. Mulder and Scully's office was recreated exactly as it appeared on The X-Files, complete with Easter eggs like the cigarette-smoking man lurking in the background during Homer's polygraph test. The whole town eventually marched to the woods to see the alien for themselves, and the reveal was perfect. The creature turned out to be Mr. Burns, stumbling around after his weekly longevity treatments that left him glowing and disoriented from massive doses of painkillers. Chris Carter, creator of The X-Files, called it an honor to be satirized by The Simpsons, and the episode became one of the highest rated in the entire series, currently sitting at 9.1 on IMDb. The Springfield Files showed exactly how crossovers should be done, respecting both properties while leaning fully into The Simpsons' comedic tone. That same year, The Simpsons quietly pulled off another crossover that most people completely missed. During the episode Bart Star, Springfield's Pee Wee football team played against a team from Arlen, and sitting in the bleachers were Hank Hill, Peggy, Bobby, Luann, Dale, Bill, and Boomhauer. Mike Judge voiced Hank, who delivered one perfect line after watching Arlen get demolished.
We drove 2,000 miles for this?
The cameo lasted mere seconds, but suggested that The Simpsons and King of the Hill existed in the same universe, which is wild considering Greg Daniels, co-creator of King of the Hill, was a former Simpsons writer. The crossover served as perfect cross-promotion since King of the Hill aired right after The Simpsons on Fox's Sunday night lineup. What makes this even more interesting is that according to Daniels, in the King of the Hill universe, The Simpsons only exists as a TV show. Bobby Hill even had a Bart Simpson doll in his bedroom, but in this one episode, they actually shared the same reality, creating a fun paradox that neither show ever addressed, and The Simpsons pulled off something completely unexpected. During the season 33 episode Bart's in Jail, the family experienced a mass hallucination and encountered Loki, who revealed that Bill Cipher was one of his many forms. The triangular demon from Gravity Falls appeared on screen and screamed,
Buy crypto, suckers!
before vanishing. Alex Hirsch, creator of Gravity Falls, voiced the character and was absolutely floored by the opportunity. He posted on Twitter about how he'd watched The Simpsons religiously from age 8 to 18, memorizing every line and knowing which writer penned each episode. Getting to cameo on the show that inspired him to get into animation felt surreal. The cameo was brief but significant, marking the first time a Disney character appeared in a regular Simpsons episode. After Disney acquired 21st Century Fox in 2019, Hirsch joked that if he got hit by 3 buses, then lightning, then fell out of a window into a truckload of mousetraps, he'd die happy after this honor. Gravity Falls fans went absolutely wild, flooding social media to discuss the unexpected crossover between 2 of the most beloved animated series. The Simpsons have also gotten creative with their couch gags, turning them into mini crossover events. One of the most ambitious came in 2015, when Rick and Morty crashed through the living room wall in the season finale episode Mathlete's Feet. Rick and Morty literally killed the entire Simpson family, reducing them to yellow smears across the room. Panicking, Rick sent Morty through a portal to another dimension to get DNA samples and clone replacements. While Morty was gone, Rick ransacked the house, drinking Duff beer spiked with something much stronger and trying on Marge's pearl necklace. The cloning process went horribly wrong because Rick had cleaned the DNA vials with his own saliva, resulting in deformed Simpson clones with Rick's skin, hair, and bad belching habits. The gag ran for 2.5 minutes, making it the longest couch gag in Simpsons history. Matt Groening loved it, calling it a mini-episode that would blow the minds of both fan bases. Justin Roiland, co-creator of Rick and Morty, was honored beyond belief, saying if he could go back in time to tell his younger self this would happen, he wouldn't believe it. The crossover came at a perfect time, with only 1 season of Rick and Morty released, giving the upstart Adult Swim show a massive stamp of approval from animation royalty. Beyond full episodes and extended gags, The Simpsons have appeared in countless other couch gags over the years. They've sat on the couch with Fred Flintstone, who invited Homer to join him in the Stone Age. They've been visited by characters from Adventure Time, Robot Chicken, and even had their living room transformed into a Minecraft world. Bob's Burgers got multiple crossovers, including a couch gag where Homer crashed through the bathroom wall and landed in Bob's restaurant, much to everyone's confusion. These brief moments allowed The Simpsons to connect with newer shows, passing the torch while reminding everyone they were still the gold standard of animated comedy. Each crossover brought something unique, whether it was visual style clashes, voice actor cameos, or just pure absurdist humor. The show understood that after 3 decades on air, they needed to keep things fresh, and inviting other animated worlds into Springfield was the perfect way to do it. What's remarkable about The Simpsons crossover history is how it evolved. Early on, Matt Groening was actually opposed to crossovers, famously removing his name from the credits of A Star Is Burns because he felt the Critic crossover was too promotional. But as animation changed and new shows emerged that were clearly inspired by The Simpsons, the tone shifted. These weren't desperate grabs for ratings anymore. They were celebrations of animation itself. Whether it was honoring The X-Files at the height of its cultural relevance, teaming up with Matt Groening's own Futurama for one last hurrah, or giving props to Rick and Morty as the new kings of adult animation, each crossover served a purpose. They connected generations of viewers, sparked conversations online, and proved that even after 700+ episodes, The Simpsons could still surprise us. From Springfield to everywhere else, Homer and his family have left their yellow fingerprints across the entire landscape of animated television. So there you have it. Every major time The Simpsons showed up where you least expected them. Don't be like the 99% of you watching who still haven't subscribed. Do it now.